Well, hi folks, it's just getting past the middle of April now, so I'm a little bit late, but it's about time I started to get me carrots all cored out and the compost put in, and then get the carrot seed planted in me sandboxes as usual. So the reason I do them in sandboxes is two or threefold. One, you get a perfect carrot. Two, because they're in a box that's possibly 2 foot above the ground, it does sort of, to a certain extent, stop carrot fly getting, because carrot fly are low flying insects, and although it's not 100% guaranteed, but it does tend to deter them a little bit, so it stops you getting carrot fly. And also, because it's grown in sand and not in the soil in your garden, you don't get any slugs or snails or anything like that eating your carrots and anything. Another reason is because it's in such well-drained sand, then you can leave them in all over winter, and any excess water will just drain straight through, and you can still be picking carrots in March the following year. So it's got a lot of benefits. It's a bit of a faff getting it all sorted out initially, but anyway, that's what I do. So what I've got different size boxes. This is a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot box. It's not got a bottom in it, so it's 100% drained, so any moisture, excess moisture, just goes straight through and into the ground underneath. Now, there's no need for them to be this tall. As you can see, this isn't filled to the top. This is only about probably 18 inches deep, which is more than enough. That one there is probably only 15 inches. And I've got another box there which is probably only 12 inches, because I grew some in different depths of sand last year, and to be honest, they were all exactly the same. So there's not much point in using extra compost, drilling extra deep holes when you don't need to, when you can get them at about 12 to 15 inches. So what I'm going to use to core these out is this little piece of pipe. It's just downspout pipe. It's probably about 2 and 3/4 inches in diameter. It's got a little bit of a handle on there just to push it in if needs be. And it's just as simple as plunging it in. I'm planting these 4 inches apart each way. About 6 inches apart each way. And it's just a matter of pushing it in like so, and the sand will stay in the tube like that. And it's just a matter of knocking the sand out. Sometimes it can get stuck, so you just have to turn it over. Like I said, I'm not going to even go right to the bottom of this one. I'm just going to push it down until I get to some resistance. So I'll show you the depth it will be. So yeah, that's probably about 18 inches depth. So that's the depth of compost that the carrot will be grown in. As you can see, I've already done sort of 80% of my carrots already. I've done that, so I'll just show you how we do. I'll just show you the procedure for the last few. So I'll just do another one. So the sand I'm using is builder's sand, sharp sand, or sometimes they call it concreting sand. Doesn't want to be the really fine sand, it needs to be quite gritty. So then it does add a bit of drainage, as you see. And to be honest with you, I've mixed all my compost back in with this for years and years, so there's probably quite a lot of compost in it already. So I'll just finish off coring these out, and then I'll just show you how easy it is to fill them up with the compost. We'll sow some seeds, and let's explain what the little rings are for. Right then folks, that's the holes done. So now the next thing is to fill them up with compost. Just made myself a little funnel. I'm just going to use just bog standard multi-purpose. This stuff's quite fine, as you can see, and it couldn't be easier, just letting it fall under its own weight. No need to compact it or anything. Let's just fill that in. Shows you how little compost there actually is. That's sort of 4 handfuls. And we'll just squash that down a bit, put a little ring on. Now the reason for the rings are twofold again. They're for watering, so let's say you need to water them in the season, or before they actually germinate. Then if I was to just leave it like that and water it, it'd probably wash all the compost away, but because it's now encapsulated in a little ring like that, and if I water it, it'll all just stay in the ring, and none of the seeds or the compost will wash away. So that's the reason we do that. And another reason is because carrots sometimes have a tendency to push the shoulders out of the ground later on in the season when they get bigger, and if the top of the carrot's exposed to sunlight, it can go green. So another thing you can do with this, let's say for instance it popped its shoulders out, then you could quite easily just put some more compost in the little ring, because there's probably an inch of height around the ring, and then that'll cover the shoulder of the carrot up and stop it from going green. I mean, green carrots they're nothing like having green potatoes, which are poisonous, but it's more of just a look thing. So that's the reason for the rings, and the rings are just made out of just little offcuts of a pipe, a little bit narrower really, so they're nothing fancy, just sawn off. So yeah, all you do is you just keep doing this. It's quite therapeutic, just sprinkling it in. No added fertiliser added, because root veg, they really don't need strong compost at all. They need sort of very little nutrients, in fact, root veg. So I used to grow them when I was growing them for show in seed compost, which is very low in nutrients. So I used to get whoppers out of those. So like I said, there's no need to add any fertiliser. So once you've done this, this is all the food they'll get, and really they just look after themselves. So I've got 3 to go. Now the variety I grow every year is a variety called Sweet Candle, which is honestly it's the sweetest flavoured candle you'll ever eat. Carrot you'll ever eat. Brilliant orange, and they do grow quite big, but they never ever get tough. They're always very, very, very tender, but the sweetness is unrivaled, honestly. So if you can get hold of any Sweet Candle, they were used as an exhibition variety, but not only are they good for that, but they are definitely the best as far as I'm concerned. And anybody who's ever grown them, the sweetest carrot you can get on the market, and they're very reliable to germinate, and they're not expensive. So Sweet Candle, if you can get hold of those, then by all means get some, because you won't be disappointed. We'll just do this last one, and then we'll put the seeds in, show you how we sow them. Again, nothing too dramatic. So all I'm going to do with these now, I'm just going to make a little impression with my finger, maybe 3/4 to a centimetre deep, 1/2 inch deep, and then I'm going to try and put 3 seeds in each hole. If more than one germinate, then just pull the weaker ones out. I can guarantee if you put 3 in, all 3 will germinate, but if you only put 1 in, none of them will germinate. So like I said, it's not expensive seed, so there's no need to be too picky with it. So again, couldn't be easier. That carrot seed can take quite a long time to germinate, so depending on the weather, if it warms up a bit, it might be up in a couple of weeks. If it stays cool, then it could take 3 or 4 weeks, but it's just one of those things. So I'll just get that in. Now I'm just going to just roughly cover that back over. Again, nothing too fancy. Now it is going to rain tomorrow, so there's not really much point in watering, but what I'll do is just give them a quick watering, just to get it watered in, and just leave it as it is. Or you could put a cover on if you like, just to keep some warmth and moisture in. And like I said, this should be up in a couple of weeks with decent weather, if it does warm up. But apart from that, that's about it. Then they just look after themselves all summer, and very rarely even water them whatsoever, because there's always enough moisture stored in the soil, in the sand, to get them through a dry spell. So, and like I said, they just look after themselves. So that's how I grow my carrots, folks. Carrots in the boxes of sand. That's about it. See you later.